Yes, morning to you, my dear boys and girls. I hope all of you are very fine and you are happy with the last class. Last class, we learned the speaker of the story and his two companions decided to go on boating holiday. Before starting their journey, really they want to pack the materials or the things which are needed in their trip. The speaker really was very proud of his special skill of pecking. So he opined that Harrison George had better leave all the things to him for pecking. At the time when they heard such a kind of suggestion, Harris and George agreed very happily and gladly. Then they got relaxed, sitting on the chairs very in a easy manner or very comfortably. Then the speaker started packing when he felt or when he thought really he finished packing and he closed the bag and strapped with a strap at the time at the right time. Harris asked whether he was not going to pack the boots in. At the time he looked around and found the boot was not packed. Then he reopened and packed again. At the time when he was closed the bag, he had a terrible thought or idea came. That thought came to his mind. What was the thought? What was the idea? Came to his mind. Horrible idea. Whether he had packed his toothbrush. Each and every time, whenever they planned a trip, that his toothbrush made him miserable or sad and unhappy because the case of toothbrush he forgot to pack it sometime, otherwise he packed it before it used, so because it is used before it is used. Okay, fine, let's see what happens next. Okay, fine, listen very carefully, dears. Okay. Whenever I am traveling, my toothbrush makes my life miserable. When I go to sleep, I dream that I have not packed it. I wake up in a cold perspiration, get out of bed and search for my toothbrush. In the morning, I pack it before I have used it. So I have to unpack again to get it. I always have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and finally carry it to the railway station wrapped up in a handkerchief. Whenever he is traveling, whenever the speaker is traveling, his toothbrush makes his life miserable, very sad, or very unhappy. Whenever the speaker is traveling, his toothbrush makes or causes his life miserable. When I go to sleep, when the speaker go to sleep or think to sleep, he dream that I have not packed it. I have not packed it. At the time that thought came to his mind, he had not or he has not packed the toothbrush. Then he wake up, he get up in a cold perspiration. What is cold perspiration? perspire or sweating because of fear. Sweat means what the fluid or emitted through the small holes of our skin due to mental stress or due to high temperature. Whenever we play hard, whenever we do some work very hardly, we will set the water or the fluid came out through the small holes of our skin. So the speaker wake up or get up from the bed uh, being sweat because of fear. Get out of bed. Then he get out, came out or come out. He comes out of bed and search for my toothbrush and search his toothbrush. In the morning, I pack it before I have used it. Then at last, he will find the toothbrush. Then he pack it. He pack it before he has used it in the morning, so that will make problems. Okay, so I have to unpack again to get it. In the morning he has to unpack the bag again to get the brush and use brush in the morning. Okay, then in the morning I packed it, sorry, then I always have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment, or at the last time. He has to rush. Rush means what? Run very fast. Rush means run very fast to upstairs on the attic or upstairs. Okay, for what? To get or to take the toothbrush. He will forget to pack the brush after having used it in the morning. So at the last moment of their journey or starting of their journey, he has to rush, and rush means what? Run very fast to the upstairs and finally carry it to the railway station wrapped up in the handkerchief. Finally, at last he will take that brush and wrap. Wrap means what? Cover. Cover that brush with a kerchief or handkerchief to the railway station. He will carry that toothbrush to that railway station having wrapped in a handkerchief. That is the reason why he told he had a horrible thought whether he had packed the brush or not. Okay, every journey, whenever he planned to do to for a journey, the toothbrush makes some problems. That makes his life what miserable or unhappy or sad, because this will be happened. Okay. I had to turn everything out now. Of course, I could not find it. I found George's and Harry's toothbrush 18 times, but I could not find my own. I put the things back one by one. I held everything up and shook it. Then I found it inside a boot. I packed once more. Okay, I had to turn everything out now. He had to empty everything from the bag. He had to take off everything from the bag. Of course means what is certain. I could not find it. The speaker could not find his own toothbrush, even though he has taken off taken everything off from the bag, but he could not find his own toothbrush. He found George's and Harry's toothbrush 18 times, many a time. He could see the toothbrush of Harris and George many a time, but he could not see his own toothbrush. Okay, I put the things back one by one. Then he took the things which came out, take off or took off from the bag one by one. He uh, one by one. He put the things back into the bag one by one. I held everything up. Held is the past form of hold. What is hold? This hold. I am holding the textbook. Okay. Held up means held is the past form of hold. I held up the textbook and the like. He held up each and everything to find, to search whether his toothbrush is there or not. I held everything up and shook it, shake it. Then I found it inside a boot. At last, he found his brush inside a boot. I packed once more. Then he packed all these things once more. So his toothbrush is really making problem. Okay. When I had finished, George asked it if the soap was in. At the time when he was going to finish all these things packed, George asked whether the soap was in. Have you certain? Are you sure? Are you sure what the soap is inside of the bag? At the time, the speaker said, "I did not care whether the soap was in. I, uh, I did not mind. Care means what? I did not bother or mind or care whether the soap was inside of or inside of what bag. Then I closed the bag and I found that I had packed my pouch in it. Then he closed the bag. At the time he realized, he what understood his pouch was packed inside of or in of the packed in the bag. Okay, packed in the bag. I had to reopen it because what in the pouch there may be his money, the money which is used, which is needed to use why they were traveling or why they were boating. So pouch should be with his pocket. So he had to reopen the bag again to take the pouch. I had to reopen it. The bag was finally closed at 10 p.m. Finally, he could close the bag at 10 p.m. We still had to pack the hampers. At last, they found what they had to. They had to pack the hampers. Hampers means what? Large baskets with lids. Large baskets with lids. They had to pack the hampers also. Then Harris said that he and George had better do the rest of the packing. At last, Harris said the opener suggested he and George had better do the remaining had better do the rest of the packing, remaining of packing. Rest of the packing means what? The remaining of the packing, some more things are to be packed. So Harris said he and George had better do the remaining or the rest or the balance of packing. Okay, I agreed and sat down. Hearing that suggestion, the speaker agreed very happily and sat down there because what he understood, packing is not an easy job. It is very risky. It is very risky. But before packing, before started packing, he was very proud of his skill of packing. But now he understood it was not a easy job. It is a risky one. Okay, fine. So he agreed with him, with Harris. After George, Harris is the worst packer in the world. When I looked at the piles of plates, cups, kettles, bottles, jars, pies, stoves, cakes, and tomatoes, I felt that it would be fun to watch them. Okay, after George. First of all, George packed something. At the time, he concluded that he understood that George is a worse packer. After that, Harris is a worst packer. Packer means the person who pack. The person who pack something can be called packer. Okay. Then after George, Harris is the worst. Worst is the superlative degree of bad. Bad, worse, worst. Such as what? Good, better, best, and the like. Bad, worse, worst. Harris is the worst packer in this world. When I looked at the piles of plates, when he looked at the heap we learned last class. Heap means a collection of things put together. Okay, when he looked at the piles of plates or a group of plates or collection of plates, cups, kettles, bottles, jars, and pies. Pies means some kind of snacks. Some kind of snacks, stuffs, cakes, and tomatoes. I felt that it would be fun to watch them. He felt that. He remembered that it would be fun. It would be what fun means, what pleasurable thing, pleasurable to watch them, watch Harris and George packing. It was very fun. It was very joke. It is very what pleasurable and happy to watch them. Okay, they started with breaking a cup. They started their packing having broken a cup. So that means what they were not also expert of packing, expert in packing. Okay. Now we can conclude here. I think it is very useful to you to understand. Then the live class we can discuss in detail manner. Okay, fine. Then you have to listen this very carefully, very attentively, and be ready for what the live class. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me at the time. Okay, fine.